Everybody good? Okay. Thank you all for being here. Today at 11:45, we received a 911 call in which they said we had a possible active shooter at the Walmart. Our first units arrived here at 11:49. Units were on scene. Shortly after their arrival, they determined that shots had been fired inside the Walmart. Of course, we evacuated the Walmart and set up a perimeter. The Sheriff's Office did an initial search inside the Walmart. We didn't find anything. Then we did a secondary search with BAton Rouge PD SWAT team. We didn't find anything. What we did determine, there was an altercation inside the store, and I want to let everybody know right off the bat, this was not an active shooter. Thank God this was nothing like anywhere near what they faced in El Paso, anything like this. What we've determined so far is this was an altercation between two patrons in the store that erupted to the point that they pulled guns on each other. Shots were fired. One of the patrons in the store, an innocent patron in the store, was struck twice, at least twice, and left the store in a private vehicle and was taken to the local hospital where we understand. We have detectives there at the hospital with that individual, and we understand that subject's in stable condition. We did apprehend one of the two men that got into the altercation inside. We also have one weapon that we recovered, but we have one suspect that we still have not found and is at large. He is a thin, slightly built black male. He was wearing black shorts, black shirt, and he had a short haircut. We saw through footage that we reviewed inside the Walmart that at one point he actually dropped his handgun. He stopped, picked it up, and then ran from the store. We know that he got into a light-colored sedan. That's all the description we have at this point. So we are looking for him. We do have one suspect that is in custody who was involved in the altercation, and the other one's still at large.
Sheriff, can you tell us what the gunmen were wearing? We talked to some witnesses who said it appeared they may have been in military fatigues. Is there any truth to that?
No, there was neither one of them were. They were just in plain clothes. But the one that we're looking for was dressed in a black shirt, black shorts. So we know that he was dressed all in black. But black male with black shirt and black shorts. But the other one, I don't remember the color of his clothing, but he was just dressed in like everyday clothing.
And were these handguns, you said?
Both of them were handguns. Both of them were handguns. And it's unfortunate that the one subject got struck. He was just, like I say, an innocent shopper in the store. He was standing in the line. This altercation started around the customer service desk, but the shots that were fired actually struck this innocent person who had nothing to do with the altercation whatsoever. And but we're thankful that that person is in stable condition.
Do you know what started the altercation?
No, we don't. We're getting the statement from the guy that we have in custody now. It was some kind of verbal altercation, but we still have to question him further. But he said the other guy said something to him first, but we're not sure at exactly this point. I do want to thank all the response that we had here. We had a tremendous response. You know, in light of what's happening across the country and the incidents that have occurred across the country, I was really pleased to see the quick response from all the first responders. I mean, we were here within 4 minutes. Right behind us was Baton Rouge City State Police. We had ATF people from the Marshal Service, FBI. We had people here from the fire department, EMS. Everybody was here, and thank God we didn't need all of those individuals, but I'm glad they responded because, as you all know, something as tragic as took place in Dayton or in El Paso could happen anywhere, anytime. So I want to thank all the agencies that did respond and in the manner in which they responded. But right now we're actively looking. We expanded our search grid away from the store, and we're actively looking for that suspect. We're asking if anybody has any information about the suspects that they or witnessed or heard anything in the store, to please contact us and let us know what they have.
Do you have an approximate age range of these suspects?
Well, I know that the victim that got shot, he was a white male. He was 42 years old. The other ones, I don't have their. They were. I think it's safe to say that they were probably in their 30s, late 30s, early 40s, or maybe younger.
Sheriff, most of the Walmarts have sheriff deputies in front of them at all times. Was there one here?
I don't think we had a deputy on duty at this one at this particular time. I think that deputy comes on later in the afternoon, but I'm not aware of us having somebody here today.
What do you recommend to people that live in this immediate area? What should they do right now?
Well, I think they should be on the lookout for the description of the person we gave, and just keep their eyes and ears open. If they see anything, anybody fitting that description, of course, all we have on the car at this time, once we look at the video more closely, we may be able to give a description of a better description of the vehicle, other than just a light-colored sedan. And we will be putting that out to y'all as we find out more about it. When we find out more about the suspect, both of them, we'll give you all that information once we get through questioning this one and see where we are with it. But all I can tell you at this point, from what he told us and what some people in the store told us, the two of them got into a verbal altercation, and it escalated to both of them pulling guns and one of them firing the shots. We think the guy at large is the one that fired the shots, but we won't know until we get through with the investigation.
Sheriff, have you heard any estimates as to how many people were inside the Walmart at the time?
No, I don't. I hadn't got that far with that yet. I know there was at least a couple hundred in the store at the time, so we were very thankful that it's not worse than it was. But the person that was shot, as I said earlier, was just a innocent shopper. He was he was in a store. He was in a line to buy one of his children a school lunchbox. So, but when he was struck, but he actually left. He had to leave right at the same time we were arriving. What it sounded like, but he is at a local hospital, and they say he's in stable condition.
Did the suspect that y'all have in custody, did he give you guys any indication as to whether or not he knew the man inside, or was this just a random fight that they got into?
He's initially stated that he doesn't know him, but we're not sure if that's true or not. We're going to do further investigation into it and see, exactly what started the altercation and what was said and who said what, and try to go from there. But a lot of times when we're investigating stuff like this, as you know, I don't know who he is. I don't remember who he is. So, we leave it open until we know for sure whether or not there was any connection between the two or not.
The gun that you all were able to recover, do we know if that was a legal weapon or not? Or
we hadn't got that far with it yet. The gun was turned over to ATF, the one that we have, and they're going to run it through Nivens and everything else to see if it might be a stolen weapon, or see if it was involved maybe in some other crime or whatever. But it's too early for us to tell that yet. But as soon as we get all that information, we're going to be giving it to you.
Sheriff, you said you got here in 4 minutes. Your guys got here in 4 minutes. Can you touch on the training you guys go through for situations like these? Certainly it wasn't what was, first came out, but I mean, certainly you guys train for this.
That's right. We do. We constantly train for it. We do year-round with active shooter response, and everybody knows what their roles are, and everybody knows how to respond, and the first responding officers, what their responsibility is, people that's backing them up, what their responsibility is, and all the support personnel that come. Everybody knows what their role is in these things, and we practice, with schools, we practice with buildings such as this, stores, and we practice at sporting events as well, responding to those things. So, we feel like you never can be too prepared, and that's why we try to keep the edge on with our training. But today I was very pleased with the response, because this is when something like this happens, and thank God it was just no worse than it was, but when something like that happens, when you have an active shooter, it's all hands on deck, and you need to know that everybody's working together, and the training this to me showed that all the training that we've done with other agencies, fire department, EMS, other law enforcement agencies, has working, because they all responded to this in that fashion. So I was very proud to see that.
Any idea on the extent of the victim's injuries?
No, I don't know. All I know is he has multiple gunshot wounds. Now, whether that's 2 or 3, I'm not sure. But the hospital staff is telling us they don't think anything is life-threatening, and they say he's in stable condition. So. But we'll be giving you more as soon as we get it. I would imagine later on this afternoon we'll be making a news release once we get more information, if we have more information at that time. But as soon as we get it, we'll put out news release as to what additional information we can give you.
You should have a pretty clear picture from all the surveillance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what they're doing now. They're going through every surveillance camera in there, is going through all of it, looking at all of it frame by frame to see what it was. But we do know that we did see that with the one suspect that was leaving, the guy that was in the black shirt, black pants, and we saw him actually drop his gun. He actually stopped, turned around, and picked it up, then ran out the back of the store. So. Well, thank y'all very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Sheriff.